How can we do this thing as a organism, as a living thing, without making it a cut and dried, cold organization? Put it in the hands of a committee. I've seen too many things committed to death. If you want to have a thing go, give it to a man or a woman whose heart is breaking over the thing, who's on fire. If you want to spread literacy, don't get a committee at it. Get a man, just one man, Frank Laubach, on fire about it, and then an organism will grow up around him. The Camp Farthest Out came because I was on fire about it, and these leaders just grew. How did you find Alice Craft? How did you find Rufus Mosley? How did you find Starr Daily? Why, you just get on fire and it comes. Now, when we are in perfect harmony, our group here in perfect harmony, the power is simply tremendous. One year we didn't have perfect harmony in our council ring. And at the end of the first week, we found the power going down, and Starr Daily and Glenn Harding said, we three haven't prayed together. We can lift it, just the three of us. Now, when Starr Daily and Glenn Harding and I get together in prayer, Starr says, we create a mastermind. In other words, Christ said, I'm in the midst of you. We went out and sat on this side of the chapel and had a prayer that Saturday. And when we were praying, you could almost see sparkles rise, I think. For I think that over on the mountain, we had that perfect harmony. I think that actually there's a power went out that's just going to make history. Well, we just the three of us, there's a power went out, and then a little boy came running around the chapel, and a little girl on the other said, come around here quick. And we went around, and the rhythms under Alice Craft and stopped. Ruth Hazlett, who's just left, was standing there with a little bird on her arm, a finger. We looked at it a while, and then it leaped up into the head of Edith Dalby, wife of a Baptist minister. And her sister, by the way, is here, and their family. And I put my finger there, and it stepped on my finger, and Ruth Hazlett just said, did I ever send you a picture of you and your little Mary Lou, then was only about 2 years old, was standing there looking at the little bird, and then it flew away. It was the next morning that the power was so great on this ground, so as I stood here, I stood in a spotlight. There was just like a light around me. There's little clouds floating around me, and there was many folks out there that saw it, and they still talk about it. Now, a cloud's always a sign of the presence. When Moses came shrouded with a cloud, it meant the presence was there. When Jesus went up on the Mount of Transfiguration, I looked around to see if there's any flames burning or smoke or anything. And there it was that Mrs. Lower, who hadn't been able to walk for 5 years, when the dress finished, she simply rose and walked out completely well. But I want to say that when you get together, and when we got together up there, marvelous things happened, and that's when 120 can do it, like at Pentecost, Christendom begins.